Welcome to the third episode of Betting on the Iron Throne, where we'll be looking ahead to episode 3 of the 8th and final season of Game of Thrones. I'm Drew Goldfarb, joined by Taylor Smith. We're going over all of the prop bets that are likely to be relevant to this week's Game of Thrones episode. Taylor, this week's episode is called The Battle of Winterfell, so lots of key character deaths are certainly possible this week. Let's start with the Starks and what the odds are that Arya Stark will die in this episode.
I don't think she's going to die in this episode. Her odds are pretty long. It's plus 525 that she will die, minus 1,000 for her to survive. Arya may die at some point. She's the betting favorite to be the first Stark to die, which is always good for her. But I don't think this will be the episode. There will be a lot of death this week, but I think Arya Stark will be one of the people that continues on. So I would say no at minus 1,000 is the way to go.
Let's move on to the Lannisters. Do we think this week marks the end for Jaime Lannister?
There's a real possibility. He's making amends like with Brienne and people he's wronged the whole time to this point. He's now to the point where he's kind of a sympathetic figure. I think yes at plus 150 is a pretty decent bet. No is priced at minus 200 over here. We're obviously guessing on all these things. We have no idea. There will be plenty of people dying. So I would take a flyer on Jaime. Yes, at plus 150 to die here.
How about Jorah Mormont? I know that his odds seem to suggest he'd be one of the more likely candidates to die this week, just based on the way the odds makers have his numbers. Yeah,
he's at plus 110. He was given a brand new sword in the last episode by Sam Tarly. It kind of makes it seem like he's near his end. I'm not as into that bet as I am with some of the other characters. Yes is at plus 110, no minus 150 for Jorah. I would lean toward no at minus 150, but I won't fight you if you want to take yes here.
All right, well, like Jorah, Tormund Giantsbane seems to have better odds than most that he could perish in the Battle of Winterfell. What say you?
Yeah, Tormund is a guy that I thought was going to die a long time ago. I'm kind of surprised he's made it as far as he has. Good for him. But this could be the end. He had some nice comedic moments last week in episode 2. Maybe kind of a going out high here. Going out on top. So I would say yes at plus 110 on Tormund meeting his end.
All right, last question for you this week, Taylor. There's a whole host of characters on this list, including the last 3 that we discussed, as well as the Hound and a few others. Who do we think will die first in this upcoming episode?
So the odds-on favorite is Theon once again at plus 450. He pledged to protect Bran Stark from the Night King, which must make Bran Stark feel pretty horrible about his own prospects. So Theon at plus 450 is a pretty good bet. I was disappointed to see that Grey Worm is not given odds. He seems like a very obvious death candidate here. But unfortunately, we can't bet on him, so it's kind of moot. So Theon at plus 450, I think, is your best bet. Euron at plus 1200. We didn't see him in episode 2. He was the previous favorite. So I imagine we may see him at some point. I don't hate taking that at plus 1200. Last week, he was way down at plus 400 or so. I would side with Theon plus 450, but Euron, if you're looking for a value bet, is a decent option.
All right, Taylor Smith, thank you very much. So be sure to check out Taylor's articles on Game of Thrones online now at gamblingsites.org for even more on this season's betting odds. I'm Drew Goldfarb. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.